Alright, hi guys. Today we're doing lesson 5-2, estimating with percents. And we're going to learn today how estimating with percents makes mental math easy. Alright, estimating is a quick way to calculate numbers, and you want to use this anytime that you don't need an exact answer. If you're just trying to get an idea of what the cost of something's going to be, or if you're at a restaurant and you're trying to figure out your tip and you know you want to leave a 15% tip, then you can kind of estimate, round your numbers, and that way you'll be able to find your tip amount easier, and your tip doesn't have to be exactly 15%, so that's a good time to use estimating. Okay, so if we're given a problem and we're asked to use decimals to estimate 28% of 191, we can round these numbers. 28% is about 30%, so, and I'm going to use decimals, so 30%. Moving my decimal 2 places to the right would be 0.3. 191 is about 200. So, now that I have these easier numbers to work with, 28% of 191, this of tells me to multiply, so I'm going to multiply my 200 times 0.3. Now multiplying, I get 600. My decimal up here has one place value behind it, so I need to do the same thing underneath. I have one place value behind my decimal. So 200 times 0.3 is 60. So an estimate of 28% of 191 is about 60. Okay, sometimes you'll come across a percentage or a decimal or a fraction, and it may be easier to estimate using a fraction. So you may want to take note of these commonly used equivalent fractions. So you may need to pause the video to get all that down. Our next example is going to be using fractions to estimate. Okay, estimate 65% of 238. If you look back at that chart you just took down, 65% is close to 66.6%, so it's pretty close to 2/3. And 238 is pretty close to 240. Now these numbers are a lot easier to work with. Again, this of tells me to multiply, and I'm going to put my 240 over 1 just so that I have it set up nice and neat. Now I can look at my numbers that are diagonal from each other to see if I can go ahead and simplify. 2 and 1, the only factor they share would be 1, so it's not going to do me any good to simplify there. 3 and 240, though, do share the factor 3. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 240 80 times. So now when I multiply across, I have 80 times 2 is 160, and 1 times 1 is 1. So 160 over 1 is 160. Let's do one more example. Okay, we're asked to find 15% of $28.85. This might be an example of leaving a tip. And we can really do this mostly mentally if you break it down. My 15% can just be broken down to 5% plus 10%. And my $28.85 is pretty close to $30. 5% of 30, well, let's do 10%, that's easier. 10% of 30 is, break it down, $3. And 5% of 30 is $1.50. And just some work to prove my mental math. 30 times 0.1 is 30, and then I have one place value behind my decimal, so I would have the same here. So I have my 5% and my 10%. I just need to add that together to get my 15%. So this was 15%. And my $1.50 plus $3, I'd have $4.50. It's 15% of $30. Okay, so I hope this gets you ready to do some estimating and better prepared to do some mental math when it comes to estimating with percents. And I will see you tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful night.